Hey, doing YouTube's Wiltonville Development. This is my 421st weekly update. First update of 2023, right? Yeah, because New Year's was over the last weekend. Yay! When did I start this? I think I started this in like 2023, didn't I? Or 2013? Does that mean 10 years is coming up soon? No, I started it later than that. I think I started in 2014, maybe even 15. It's probably 14, I think. 14, 15. I don't remember when I started. I should go back and look, find out how many years I've been doing this now. This has been the worst year of my consistency with these videos. I think I've missed a total of what? 6 Fridays? Over the course of 7-ish years? I'm gonna guess it's around 7. Which is crazy. But I think 3 of them were in the last couple months alone, so oops, my bad. But I always said from the start, this is something more for me. Just sort of like a live journal sort of thing anyway. So, I guess I let myself down with videos on Fridays these last couple months. But I'm going to work on staying consistent. And I might even start... So I've done a thing on Instagram, which if you don't follow me on Instagram, that's really the best place because I've been actually really good in the last few months about putting out a video once a day, Monday through Friday. And most of it is all about stonework and tips and tricks, things I've learned over the years. And I mean, I've been covering everything from stone math theory, which is just concrete math theory and practice, which is such a deep dive of stuff that, I could probably do one video on it every day for a year and still just start breaking the surface of it. Because there's just so many examples of everything. And we're just talking about weight. We're not even talking about things like strength theory with concrete and all that stuff. And, from that all the way to, like, putting inserts in your stones with lead and things like that. And things I've learned and picked up over the years on how to sort of do it right or the way I like to do things and why, all that sort of stuff. And obviously questions people have too. Whether they ask it in a comment, which is honestly preferred, or in a DM, which, I still, that's just free content for me too. And I say it's free content, but it's a win-win for everybody because that free content for me is free information for everybody who follows and follows along and, is curious. So I've been a lot more consistent over there than I have over here. But I might start uploading some of those videos as shorts on the YouTube channel too, since I guess the shorts are the new hotness. But I've never ran this channel for clout of anything. Like I said, it's always just been sort of a live journal sort of thing for me. Just to keep track and be able to look back and stuff like that, which got an idea from Nate to do some sort of reactions to some of the older videos. And, I'm not opposed. It's one of those things where it's you should never be embarrassed about looking back on yourself. And I don't want to say being ashamed, maybe just being embarrassed. You should never be ashamed of that because that's good because you should be changing over the years. If you look back 7 years of your life and you go, well, I'm still the same person, or I still look the same, or I still act the same. There's probably something wrong with that, because there's no such thing as a perfect person in general. So you should always be changing and adapting, and especially when the whole channel's geared around mostly my fitness journey, if you want to call it that, there should always be change, and there should be adaptations, and there should be growth. So it's definitely going to be hard to watch. Some of them is my only problem. So I'm not opposed to doing that. It's definitely something I'll put on the docket to do. Honestly, I have 4 comps of footage to I'm supposed to upload on here. Part of my problem with that, a little minor challenge I am facing there, is that my photos backup thing on Google is like full, so I'd have to go through and make room for all these videos in order to sort of put them on a cloud service. I guess I could just email them to my other one of my other emails, actually the email that this channel's attached to. I could do that, I guess. Yeah, it's I'm finding an excuse to not do it. Just out of sheer laziness, I already have templates set up and everything to do it. But regardless, I'm sort of rambling on about all that because this week was just a solid, simple week of just good, solid work in general. Monday was a little rough, I'll be honest. Did go to the gym, felt like hell, and really just, best way to describe it is I just fiddle fucked around, man. It was didn't care what I had planned, none of it. Went to do squats and I was like, cool, that's not happening. And ended up just doing basically like calf raises and leg extensions. It was literally just something to do anything, just to keep that habit of going to the gym in the days that I normally go. Not necessarily proud of it. But, I came in on Tuesday with a fresh mentality. I still felt kind of shitty. Part of it was just eating like hell over the holiday weekend there. Yeah, as it turns out, eating shitty food makes you feel shitty. I don't know how the average person functions eating just garbage all the time. And it's like, whenever I eat like that and I just feel like dog shit for a long time, I was getting headaches and stuff on Monday and Tuesday, and I don't get headaches and stuff like that. But it was just like, my whole body was just like, no, this is terrible. And it's like, man, it sort of opens my eyes every time I do it to myself, where I go, I don't think the average person even knows what feeling good feels like, and they just think this is normal. And if anybody's watching out there and just happens to think maybe that's normal, like you should feel sort of lethargic all the time, or you should feel like puffy and bloated and have tons of gas all the time and just like headaches, that's not normal stuff. You should not be feeling that way in any kind of a consistent manner. Like if you feel that way for more than 2 or 3 days in a row, that's not good. And you should probably, talk to a doctor or a nutritionist and probably start, working out too, if you're not already. But yeah, that is not normal. I felt terrible for 3 days after all that. And it's just, some people just eat that stuff all the time, and it's like, oof. I don't know if you just get used to it. I don't know. I don't know. It's not for me. I'm back to the chicken, beef, pork, rice, potatoes, a few veggies sprinkled in here and there kind of life. And within 3 days, I already started feeling better. I felt, my muscles felt full, not puffy. I felt strong again. So, something to think about there. But Tuesday, I still felt like shit. Joints and stuff all hurt. But still managed to get some good work in. Hit all the numbers I needed to hit on push press out of the rack. Wednesday, I was off. Did a bunch of stone stuff and just melting a bunch of lead and all this stuff. I got these 3 stones I'm working on that are just beasts. I guess more accurately, they're demons, since that's the name of them. They're all 3 named after demons. Not my choice. It's the client's choice. That's their business. And then Thursday was deadlifts. Deadlifts went so much better. So much better yesterday than they have in the last couple weeks. Didn't feel so out of breath going through them. My body's actually getting used to the higher volume on deadlifts, which is good. But that's how it works, right? I was so used to just doing 5 reps at the most on deadlift. Now I'm doing 8 to 10, that kind of thing, for multiple sets. So it's really good that I'm doing that. I think it was a hole in my training that I needed to fill. And then tonight, axle clean and press went great. and then I played with the circus dumbbell just a little bit. I have intentions to compete at the Orlando one, and I'm making those dumbbells, the stone circus dumbbells. So I want to. I don't want to say it would be nice to win a press event, but it would be nice to not come last in it. I know I won't zero it. I believe the weight is 80. And I mean, I can already do 3 sets of 6, no problem. And I mean, the reality is if I just was pacing myself really well, I can get about a rep every 3 to 4 seconds. So, I mean, we're talking somewhere around in the realm of 15 to 16 reps right now. I'm confident I could do. And that's clean and press every rep. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I would like to have a good showing on a press event for once. And contrary to my last 2 performances with circus dumbbell, I'm better at that than I am with general pressing. Unfortunately, the 2 opportunities I've had to show it in a comp, well, needless to say, it just wasn't there that day. It was just, bad days. And well, hell, the one in Florida I was never going to get that anyway. It's just a little too far out of my realm right now. But man, that one at the Scorcher still bothers me. And I think that's part of the reason I'm working with even a slightly different size dumbbell, etc. Just to, my thought process is if I can get to the point where I'm doing, sets of 10 with the 80 clean and press, somehow that's got to translate to being able to consistently hit over 100. You know what I mean? With the big dumbbell. They're slightly different. They look different, things like that. But, in general, I definitely want to work on that movement a little bit more. I'm not looking to be like a world record holder or anything, or even a state record holder or anything like that. But I would certainly like to be to the point where I'm not zeroing another dumbbell event. If one shows up, if one happens to be there. And then even with the pressing, just in general too, pressing, it was so much better tonight. Last time I ran this program using similar weights, I had an AMRAP to do tonight, and last time I ran this program, I think I did like 2, 1, and 2 or something like that for my sets. And then tonight I literally did 3, 4, and then I was going to do 5 for the last set, but when I went for that 5th one, I went to clean it and I was just like, let's call it. Things are feeling a little goofy today. So I was like, let's just call it. Yuck. Let's just call it. So I did. But pressing's going better. I feel a lot more confident in my ability to press. It's an interesting feeling now where the weight doesn't necessarily feel lighter in my hands, which is sort of what I was hoping for at some point. Where like 180 pounds wouldn't feel heavy in my hands. But it's to the point now where it's like, hey, it feels heavy in my hands, but I can still do it. So the confidence is building in that regard, which I'm totally fine with. Just being able to do the weight is all that's important. And with that in mind, there's a 225 axle coming up in April with the Iron Vault Classic, and it would be lovely to get at least 1 rep on that. And I believe I will have time to get there and be able to get that for at least 1. I would like to be consistently hitting somewhere in the 220s in the gym by the time that shows up, and really just get my revenge from last year where I zeroed the press event. So, and 225 for a 175 guy is really not that. It's not that outrageous, 250. That's a little. You're approaching almost, world level status at that point. 275, you're getting close to world records. But there's guys out there that are doing it. So it's one of those things. The standards just keep rising, and I've been chasing them and just sticking with it, and I'm getting there. And this is the first time in basically ever I felt really confident about my ability to actually improve my pressing and get there. So just don't quit. Just keep moving. And if you do quit, then what's your excuse?